Okay, so this evening I'm going to try auto guiding. I've got my camera set up and I've focused it during the daytime, so now I know this is focused. We should be able to pick up some stars. So we'll lock the focus into position. So it should just be some fine focus maybe later, but so we've got that. It's talking to PhD. But, the main goal for this evening will be to get auto guiding working. So we've got everything set up. We're going to go and put it outside and wait for it to get dark, pick up some stars, and hopefully we can get auto guiding working. We can get some longer exposures on some of the deep sky objects. Okay, so usual routine. We've got it leveled. I use spirit level just to be sure, because this is a slope out here, and the more level we are, the better our tracking will be. So we've got it all set up here now, pointed north, and pretty much ready to do our polar alignment as soon as it gets dark and we can see the stars. Okay, so we've got a really good polar alignment there, very small total error. Took me no more than a minute or so. Now let's get framed up on our target. So it is clearing up and PhD is now calibrating so that we can start our auto guiding. Once this is done calibrating, we should be able to start imaging. So PhD is done calibrating. Now it is settling and going to kind of iron out its moving, you see, waiting for the guide to settle, and then we will start. Okay, so our graph on our guiding in PHD2 is beginning to settle. So you see it was all crazy, and it's getting better, although there's a bit of, whoops, crazy spikes again. But anyway, hopefully it'll settle down again. And okay, so here now, you can actually see the graph is being drawn here in Nina also. So there's our live stacking here from Deep Sky Stacker. We've got 1 hour and 11 minutes of data so far here on Thor's helmet. Just the live coming in, and you really can't see anything on there. None of that nebulosity is showing up, so that's all going to come out later when we do the stacking in PixInsight. My aim though really tonight was not to necessarily capture a great image, but just to get guiding working, get everything set up and working properly. And as you can see, it is working. We are guiding. So I'm happy with that. Our goal for the evening was achieved. We're able to guide and get some longer exposures, and that means that I should be able to then, you know, pick out some fainter deep space objects and do longer exposures on them. So I didn't get around to actually doing anything with any filters today, but that's okay. One step at a time. We've achieved quite a lot really in a week. You know, we've gone from nothing to getting everything set up, capturing our first nebulae, and now auto guiding and learning how to edit in PixInsight. There's really a lot to learn in this hobby, but I feel like all of the pieces are starting to slot together now, and hopefully from here we can just get better and better images. So we've got everything set up to try and get the Jellyfish Nebula again. So yesterday I got 2.5 hours of images, and all I got was nice pictures of stars. This time I'm pretty sure I am on target though. See this bright star here and here? It lines up in my framing assistant with this bright star here and here. So I'm pretty sure that this time we are framed up and in the correct location. So we're going to do 90 second subs and you see our tracking is really nice. Our graph is quite straight there, so we're doing okay with our tracking. And yeah, so we'll leave this going for the next hour and a half, and 2 hours of imaging, and then we'll see what we get out of it. Hopefully this time, not just a big picture of stars, but an actual jellyfish nebulae. So here's a useful tool that I use just to double check everything's going right. Nova.astrometry.net. So once you have your first image coming in, upload it to here, and it will plate solve also and just verify that we're in the right place. So you can see here nearby images. There we are. This is what we're going to be imaging, the Jellyfish Nebulae. So obviously we are in the right location. So that's good. We're down and to the left of the Flaming Head Nebulae here. So all this looks to be correct. So I think we're quite happy that we're imaging in the right location. So we'll just leave this running now. Our guiding is settling down. We have a few waves every now and again, but you know, it's never going to be perfect. But in general, everything's working. You know, I think I've made good progress after just a week of astrophotography. I've gone from, you know, nothing to getting auto guiding working, getting all the software tools working, and being able to start, you know, capturing some images. So let's see how this comes out. So this is how tricky things can be. So yesterday I was off target, and today things are going good, but I made a little error, which is, I can correct it later in post, but I forgot to turn on dithering. So if you actually now look at my image here, I've got these hot pixels that are going across the image there, all the way across these bad pixels, because I did not turn on dithering. So without dithering, any hot pixels are just going to track and go right across your image like that, and post-processing is going to have some difficulty getting rid of those. But I do have a technique that can help me to get rid of them. I can do it in Photoshop later. So what I actually did was I stopped the imaging session and I turned on dithering, so at least the last set of images that we take will have dithering enabled and should help us with that. But you can definitely see we are on target this time. We can see the Jellyfish Nebula there, I can see the outline of it. So on target, but no dithering, and that's the result of if you forget to turn on dithering, you get these lines. Okay, so this evening I'm going to have another go on the Jellyfish Nebulae. So I've got all polar aligned, I've got everything framed up now, I've got my PHD started tracking, it's all looking quite good, and I've got my focus in. So tonight's imaging session seems to be going really well on the jellyfish. I think it'll be the best one we've had so far. If we just take a look at what we've got, so we're about an hour and a half into gathering our data. And out of Deep Sky Stack Alive, I've got a stacked image and brought it into Cyril, and we'll apply an auto stretch and take a look at what it looks like. So this is obviously way overstretched, but you can see we've got a lot more detail there in Jellyfish Nebulae than what we had in our previous images. We've still got this blowing out of the stars, but I'm going to try and fix that because they're not actually blown out before you stretch in the linear image. They're just these bright dots. So I'm going to use Star Exterminator to strip these out and then put them back in later. So that should help with the bloating of those stars. Pretty good. So I'm probably going to give this another hour or so, and then we'll be switching to another target.